up. You're mic'd up. Okay.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, I can. All right, cool. All righty. Well, let's go ahead and get started and call to order this Parks and Recreation Advisory Board meeting on this April the 20th, 2026 at 6:02. Nope, just 6 o'clock p.m. And I don't have a gavel, so good enough. Number 2, visitors' comments. Anyone wishing to address the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board must complete a speaker's request form and return it to the Oh, roll call. You're right. I haven't been here in a month. So let's go ahead and start on the left here with roll call.
Tyler Gump, present.
Janet Gershenfeld.
Hogan Hevington, present.
Steve Tewaters, present.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks, Janet. Now we move to visitors' comments. Anyone wishing to address the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board must complete a speaker's request form and return it to the administrative assistants. In accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board is restricted in discussing or taking action on items not posted on the agenda. Action on your statement can only be taken at a future meeting. In order to expedite the flow of business and to provide all visitors the opportunity to speak, the chairperson may impose a 3-minute limitation on any person addressing the board. Pat, I don't think we have any visitors' comments tonight. Okay. I figured. So, moving on to number 3. Approve the minutes from the regular meeting of the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board held on November 17th, 2025. Any questions, or do we have a motion?
I move to accept the minutes as written.
All righty, do we have a second?
I will second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, passes 4-0. Moving on to item number 4, receive a presentation and discuss playground replacement options and an alternate for Lower Selmire Park.
Good evening. How's everyone doing?
Great.
Great, thanks, Bill.
Fantastic. Well, you know, the show tonight is Brian's, so I'm just going to go ahead and bring him on up.
Yes.
Thank you for that introduction.
You're the show.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I'll just go through the agenda real quick. At the February 16th, 2026 regular board meeting, staff presented the public engagement results for Lower Selmire Park. Based on the community's responses, the highest ranked need was for a new playground. Staff contacted 2 experienced playground vendors, requested renderings based on the community's input and cost estimates for installing the new playground. Staff will present the renderings tonight and the cost tiers bronze, silver, and gold as the board requested. After the board meeting, staff will post an online survey where the community can provide input on which playground rendering they liked, and the survey results will be presented to the board at the May meeting. The budgetary impact is that this project will be funded from 2022 bond proceeds. The budget amount for the project is $140,000. And recommendation is that at the May meeting, staff will seek a recommendation on which playground options should be presented to the City Council for consideration and approval. All right. So tonight I have those renderings to show you. Again, our budget for this project through bond proceeds was $140,000. The first 3 options I'm going to show you is from the vendor. It's a game time playground, and Cunningham Recreation is actually the rep in our area that installs those game time playgrounds. And this is their bronze option. It's mostly turf and turf mounds, a slide. As you can see, it's pretty simple, pretty basic. And this is our bronze option at $120,638.74. Silver option, we add a few more features. Also, you'll start to see that we do have features that are probably for the smaller kids, and then some features that are for kids that are a little bit older. And these playgrounds will probably be labeled as anywhere from 2 years old to 12 years old based on the features in each option. And we'll have signs posted showing the age group this is designed for. We also included some benches inside that area for the parents and grandparents. That was requested as part of the original survey. And then the gold option from this group is, everything scales up. It gets a little bit bigger. We have some more of a natural look with boulders and logs and climbing nets, and just a little bit more for that range of kids from 2 all the way up to 12 years old. Next group we had is from Craftsman Playgrounds, Craftsman Playground and Water Parks. Their bronze options came in at $128,103. You can see kind of similar, the first option is pretty basic, just some smaller features and climbing items and toys for the kids to play with. The silver option is more of a turf style, like we saw previously. It has a tunnel going through the middle of the mound and also a slide on one side, and also a small boulder with a climbing rope. And the gold option for Craftsman is another one that has more of a natural look with logs and boulders, even some cool little log benches in the corners, and a little bit more costly, but also has more features. And then we have an alternate we've added to this project. If we'd like to do this, there's an old picnic pad and table and grill there that's pretty worn out, pretty old. If we want to replace that, and we can create a 5-foot wide sidewalk that's ADA compliant from the playground to the new 15 by 15 concrete pad, and we would put a picnic table and a grill there as well, and that would be in the range of around $12,500 to $13,500 if we decide to add that to any of those other options. And those are the choices. Any questions?
Have we worked with either of these vendors before?
Yes, both are very well known in the industry for building playgrounds. Craftsman hasn't built a playground for us yet, but they built our splash pad.
Oh, okay.
But both, like I said, Game Time and Craftsman are very well known for playground,
Okay.
that type of work, those projects.
Do we remember who did Kids Castle? Either one of these vendors?
No, that was a
Play by
group called
Design.
Play by Design, I believe, correct?
Okay.
No?
Yes,
I can't remember the name of it.
yes.
She said yes.
Oh, she said yes, okay.
No, I think these are all great options to consider and look at. And you said the May board meeting is when we would make a recommendation for this, or are we doing that tonight?
The May meeting,
Okay, so we're just looking at and talking about it tonight? Okay.
just to present them to you as the board, give you some time to look at them. It's also going to go out in a survey, correct?
Right, and we're looking for your feedback, too. As you know, if you give me a second here.
Sure.
This board had requested, the budget was $140,000.
Right.
And the board had requested that we come back with some type of a tiered system. So we came with that first tier is under budget, this, with the bronze, and then the silver right at budget or a little bit under, and of course the gold over. And we put that alternate in there because on the first and second tier, you could probably add that alternate and still stay, reasonably close to the budget. But as you move forward with that decision and what to recommend to council, just keep in mind the budget amount. And at the end of the day, they're going to have the final say on what that looks like in terms of funding the project. So is there any question specifically about the different options? Because like Brian had said, we had taken this information based off of the public meeting and what the community wanted, and we provided that input directly he provided that input directly to the vendors. And I feel like they hit the mark pretty well.
On the Craftsman silver option, is that a slide I see on the far side?
Yes.
Yeah, I think both of the silver options have a slide, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, they have a slide on this option and also a tunnel that goes through the middle of the mound there.
And then the gold option, neither of them have a slide.
Yeah. Like, what's
Yeah, the gold option is more of a climbing structure.
I think something that caught my eye as well is the bronze and the gold of the Cunningham Recreation. They both have kind of a adult bench swing.
I did see that.
I don't know if they had it on the silver. I'm not seeing it, but But they have it on the bronze and the gold, which is interesting because I know that that was something that we were showing at the meeting that people were like, oh yeah, this would be great. Something that is still interactive and fun, but is more of a seating option.
Yeah.
The swing, we're not sure yet. It would be outside of the playground area. And
Copy.
that is, it's one of the things they put in here as an option, but
Okay.
we still need to look at the playground safety aspect of it too, as far as the swing.
Gotcha, because you have to have, what is it, however tall it is, you have to have it twice that length?
Width for-
Because the front and the back, it has to be that far out.
Right. We just have to be placed in the right area, so not too close to the play.
But I assume that would be like, grandma's porch swing, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to go more than 3 feet forward.
Sure.
Okay.
The covering, we're keeping that same one that's out there?
Yes, we'll keep the
Okay.
shade structure. It's in very good condition. And, yeah, it'll just be built around that existing structure.
And I know this is a rendering, but I assume this is relative size to the actual playground area itself. So
Yes.
what we're seeing here, the spread out and with the tint, the shade cover will be the same? Okay.
Yes.
And I know we're going to do the concrete kind of footer border, and then we're going to overlay turf on the whole thing instead of having the rock gravel.
Yes, the border that's there will stay in place. We already have a concrete border, and we'll replace the gravel with the turf.
Okay, so we're not looking at putting a new concrete border in, it's just going to use the re-existing.
Reuse the existing one.
Excellent. That's good.
They'll also install some drainage underneath the playground as they put the new
Okay.
surface in, so. Yep.
Thank you, Brian.
Yes, great options.
Yeah, thanks for getting these in front of us, for sure.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that was the interesting thing for me is that, the Craftsman one doesn't have any additional swing. And funny enough, the benches on the top tier, they're more in theme, but they don't have any backing to them.
Oh, and that's just brutal to sit on.
And I know that it's we're trying to make this for adults too, and adults want to be there with their kids, but adults are probably going to be sitting back and chilling, watching their kids for an hour, 30 minutes to an hour, and they're going to want to be able to at least be a little bit comfortable.
That's good feedback, because we can also make changes now at this point if we want to
Yeah.
put in a different type of bench or something, yeah.
And then I don't know how you guys feel about certain aspects of this with the slides, right? Because the gold option for both of these are both climbing fully. Then there's no slide piece. It's you're climbing rocks, you're climbing ropes, you're climbing tree trunks. But is that just what kids love to do nowadays in most of these parks? Is that what we see in the area? Is mostly climbing?
I don't know. I mean, that's why that mound of the silver option.
Yeah.
Well, this came from that public meeting we had. They did ask for those type of features and climbers, and they were interested in those type of structures.
I mean,
Yeah,
the
which
silver
is
craftsman,
great.
I mean, I'm seeing them climb all over that. I would just worry that somebody doesn't run and step off into the hole. But that whole thing is, I mean, I can see King of the Mountain all day long.
Yeah. One.
I just dated myself there.
I mean, King of the Hill's great. So, I mean, it's minor, but, I'm going to be a little nitpicky, I guess. On the bronze option for the Craftsman one, I see we have music play features, interactive features. We just need to make sure we scratch that.
Yeah.
We got feedback from the
Very
residents around the neighborhood that they don't
Noise.
want
Oh,
any
yeah, good.
noise-making
Good point, yeah.
features at the park.
Okay.
Yeah, very specifically.
Yeah, it looks like we have some bongos there or something.
Yeah, and it's the flowers next to it come with those little metal sticks that you hit. So I think that's one thing that they were specifically okay, we'd love the idea, but please, no music features.
right.
Like they have at
Like
Unity.
hitting all day long.
Right.
Or evening, the teenagers come.
Right. And then I guess my question for the alternate, I'm trying to remember, do we already have a picnic bench and a grill where this one is?
We do, yes.
Okay.
But it's pretty worn out.
Okay.
It's pretty used and pretty weathered, so.
Gotcha. So we're thinking, if we're putting in this new stuff, might as well revitalize that option as well.
If possible, yeah, if we have the funds for it.
Okay. If that's so I guess just from a price perspective, I mean, this is great, by the way, getting all these different options. I think this is exactly what we were wanting. The gold sticker price on the Craftsman is a little bit of a shock because, that's 30,000 over budget, whereas the gold option's only on the Cunningham's only 11,000 over budget. I mean, it's still over budget, but I guess that just kind of tells you,
And I'm not seeing why.
yeah. But I think the big thing here too is, are we really trying to go with like the most expensive option
No.
for this park? Probably not. I would like to save money. We don't have to use all the bond money, which is, I like I think I do like that hill option with the slide. I think that's,
So,
it's, yeah, it's climbing interactive. It gives kids slides, because I don't know, kids always love slides. And you have a tunnel that you can go underneath. I would assume that tunnel's not going to have any like drainage issues, right?
he said they were putting in drainage.
Well, the drainage will be underneath the playground, so it won't be, it won't have anything to do with the features.
Right, but you won't have mold and stuff growing in the turf, right? Or
No,
fungus.
no, no. We would,
But that tunnel, I'm just wondering if the rain coming down is going to pool in there and cause issues in the future or not.
I mean, it could be cleaned, I'm sure, if it's something our staff needs to address.
Okay.
Maybe it's a
Nothing,
slight-
nothing big.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that hill too because, I mean, there's the running around factors, but you've got these little bubbles coming out. And so, I mean, there's all sorts of creative way kids' brains work.
Yeah.
That one doesn't have the adult swing, though.
Right, that's the thing. The Craftsman one doesn't have the adult swing.
Yeah, let me speak to that a little bit more.
Yeah, sure.
The adult swing is outside of the playground. I think they just put that in there
I think it's
as.
just a rendering.
Yeah, just for the rendering.
That's what I was going to ask too, is if
Yeah.
that was actually a part of the
included?
price point.
Yeah, I would not include that, just like the benches or the restroom. That's out there.
So basically, everything that's underneath the
Yeah,
shade
everything
structure.
that's just underneath the sage structure
Okay.
is what you're getting.
Oh, because I was very specifically looking for the seating that the
Right.
parents had asked for close to the littles.
Which is the benches inside in the playground area.
Okay, anything that's
Anything
within
that's
that
within
concrete
there, okay.
footer is
Yes.
in. Okay, I understand.
Yes.
But that I understand. Everything that's in the background is rendering. So what's outside, which is that swing too, is not a part of this, most likely. Are we confident on that, or is that something we can ask about?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident
Okay.
about that. Yeah.
Then I'll trust you, Phil.
Check that tomorrow.
So what I did like about the bronze option is you have all that climbing right here, but it does seem like a little too open overall.
It seemed like it's not quite finished.
But that just shows that they have like hill turf options that they
Yes.
could do if we wanted to do that instead of bringing in like the most expensive, like it looks like wood, it looks like rocks.
It looks like a la carte.
I remember one of the conversations with the group out there. There was a few of them that said they would have loved a large play area where they can just have a picnic. So that was part of it as well, and certainly you can throw a blanket down on that hopscotch in that area there as
Yeah.
well. So that was one of the things that I remember
Right.
from their discussion.
Yeah. I agree. Thanks, Phil. But I wonder if maybe they're just talking about the open grass space that'll be outside of the playground
Outside of it.
area too.
Because the second, somebody else comes and runs across your cake.
Yeah.
Were we planning on having the community vote or just give input on these options?
They're going to give input.
Yes.
Yeah. And it might be in terms of which one do you like best? You know, which
Yeah.
option?
So the plan would be to send this out to everyone on that mailing list, get their feedback. We'll receive that next board meeting, and then we'll make a decision on which one to go with.
Right, and it's beyond we're going beyond just the mailing list. It's just going to be put
Okay.
out there for anyone. We're going
Anyone.
to try to capture their address and try to hone in on the folks that live in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
In terms of feedback, that would be the goal.
Maybe they get more weight in their boat if you're within walking distance.
So I guess the question I would have is there a specific option here that the parks team might try to recommend? Like, did you guys see something like this? We've seen this in other areas. This would work really well. It's a good small local park idea. It fits with the guidelines that we were given by the citizens. It's okay if you don't.
I think all of them hit it.
Okay.
You know, and I think it's going to come down to, you know, what is the neighborhood specifically looking for in terms of play value? That's what it's going to come down to, because There was a group that I know is going to like this feature because of the openness.
Right.
And there's almost organic type of play features.
That's true.
There's a lot of kids that can go through the tunnel, slide down. You got a slide. Slides are very popular. You got toppers. You got open space in an area where kids can also kick a ball, throw a football, little kids, things
And
like
just
that.
use their own imaginations to
Yeah,
play.
very good and open for imaginative play. This is the bronze option. This has got a little bit more play features in it, toppers, things of that nature. I think this is going to do well as well, especially where you look at the benches and how everything is facing forward. I think this one is exciting, but we have similar features like this at Kids Castle.
Right.
I think the other features, these two are unique and
Yeah.
would be almost a destination type of experience if you're not in the neighborhood as well. But these features do provide, the risk that kids look for in terms of climbing. They're not very high though. It's for smaller kids for sure.
Yeah.
And then the Craftsman, I'm just giving you my,
No, I like it.
experience based off of the years of building playgrounds and managing them, especially in school districts. And it comes down to play value and that, does it meet the expectations of the neighborhood? This one does have a lot going on. You see all the kids. It's definitely spread out. It lends its hand to, a lot of just different types of activity with the sit and spin chair. You got some interactive elements, the bongos and the music stuff. That was the first time I heard that was an issue. I don't remember hearing that. I don't remember seeing it, but we can easily change those out to interactive panels.
Yeah, something that makes less noise would be
Yeah,
great.
pretty easily. This one, Large Hill.
I think Large Hill's always a winner.
Yeah, Large Hill's a winner, but it just depends on the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Thing.
What were those balls on the hill? Are those just
You're talking about the thing behind
hard?
the ball?
I assume they're just hard spherical structures.
Yeah, that
then-
just help with the balance, and it provides a unique play feature.
Right.
Where you're hopping, other things that you can do.
Or are you talking in the background?
Well, there's a, on the far side of the hill, it looks like there's a kid sitting on something.
Oh, yeah. It's one of
Like a
those.
stem, like a,
Could you go back to the bronze option real quick?
no, this-
No, it's on the silver.
It's one of these spinny guys.
Oh, okay.
It's just a small version of it,
Okay.
but that's what it is.
okay. Because I can't really see what all was included.
Yeah, I think it's just that spinny. Yeah, because I think with
I like a hill.
what I liked about
that's
the
all.
just the Cunningham reports, if you want to just pass feedback back to them, they gave us two angles, the front and the back, so
Yeah.
we could see everything on the playground. Whereas with Craftsman, they gave us one angle, so if there's a hill, we don't see if there's something that is potentially hidden on the other side. But that's just
Yeah.
vendor feedback. So for me, I think the gold options, I don't think we would be getting a lot out of it for the amount of money we'd have to put in.
No.
I think like Phil said, we have this kind of stuff at Unity, and people can go to Unity if they want to get that.
Doubletree as well kind of has the big slides
Yeah,
and kind of a smaller version. So yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking as well, like, how's this tie in to all of our other parks and maybe provide something a little bit different.
Yeah.
But this does seem more like a 2 to 6 or 2 to 8 range. I don't see much for the 8 to 12-year-olds, but then again, I think they would go to some of the taller, bigger
Right.
playgrounds that we do have. So
or risk playgrounds.
Are you planning on providing all these options to the residents, or are we going to recommend maybe like the bronze and the silver? Like, can we choose which ones do you recommend? Or are you planning on recommending all of these options?
Well, since we showed them here, and that was our plan. But if we need to change it, we can.
Well, I'm asking because what if everybody decides to go with the $170,000 one? Like we
Right.
get the most votes for that one.
Right.
Are we going to go with that one based on what? that people want?
It's basically be council's decision.
Okay.
So, but I feel like the $170,000 one is too much. I think
Yes.
the price point is too high.
I can go take one of the trees that fell down, just like put it across a rock or something.
Yeah, I think the 151 one is in a better range.
Right.
It's only about $11,000 over budget versus 170. So we certainly,
You know, some of them on budget.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I think provide what they need. So here's a question on longevity and maintenance. What's kind of what we're thinking is the longevity for this? Are we thinking it's going to be another 15 years, 20 years? Or are we thinking this is something that might need to be maintained and updated in 10 years?
well, it could have, well, all of these come with a warranty, and they're pretty robust and pretty standard. But that warranty can be challenged based on how much the playground is used. Like Kids Castle, you know, we have a 15-year warranty on the turf. And over the course of the past, since it was installed, they've had to go in there and replace some of the turf. We haven't had to pay for it, but because the amount of usage.
Right.
So the warranty will kick in and it'll pay for things like that.
Okay. So it'll probably be the standard 15-year warranty
Yeah,
then.
standard warranties apply to this in commercial playground equipment. You know, we're not going to entertain anything that's got a 5 or a 6 or a 7-year warranty.
And I assume, but I got to ask.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're thinking this is going to be at least here for 15 years, most likely 2025.
Yeah, and if you look at our playgrounds that are out there right now, they're well within 15 years, and we'll be looking at replacing several of them in the next bond.
Yeah, because when was Turpin redone? I want to say that was 2017?
Yeah, it was before my time. I have it written down and the date and everything,
Okay.
but I don't have it with me.
Yeah, because I would think that's the most recent small park that's not been attached to Doubletree or Unity that has been updated.
Village Park, too.
Oh, yeah,
They got a pretty good playground there.
you're right. That's true. Okay, so from a maintenance perspective, really the big one is going to be the turf eventually. If it has high use, might get replaced, but we have the warranty that should kick in if that's the case.
Yeah.
And then the shade structure. How old's the shade structure here?
It was installed shortly after I got here, so I want to say about 2019, roughly, right around there.
And they typically last how long?
The shade, the structure itself, the post and the warranty on that is 15 years plus, just like playground equipment. The shade structure typically will last anywhere to 5 to 10 years,
Okay. So
depending on the weather and vandalism and things like that.
okay.
So
that's
we just
something-
replace the shade. If anything, the shade gets replaced.
the sale of it.
Yeah, the sale, and that's on a replacement cycle.
Okay. So is that already kind of baked into our
Yes.
future budget plans?
Yes.
Okay,
All
excellent.
shade structures they're built in. But, you know, my preference would be to eliminate this gold option.
That's what I was going to
I agree.
I agree.
I've been thinking about that. It's like,
I think this is just, it's not entertainable.
no.
No, and not only that, I think it's a little bit too busy based off of,
There's
there's not as much open space as the other ones, I
Yeah.
feel like.
It just doesn't, I don't think it fits.
Yeah.
So I think,
If it did, it's $30,000 over budget.
well, that's part of why it doesn't fit, yeah.
That's really
I mean, I saw that and I was like,
Yeah, we-
okay.
we
not a
don't-
small
yeah.
number.
People may ask, though, if you just have a bronze and a silver on one, then
That's
you have
true.
bronze, silver, gold on the other. I mean,
They just came into, it's not feasible. I mean,
here's what I was thinking. I was thinking we could have some sort of tentative recommendation to what options we like, and we could share that with the residents and say the Parks and Rec Advisory Board, after looking through these options, thought these 2 or these 3 were more in line with what the residents were asking for and what the budget was for this. And you guys tell us, what do you like? And they could go outside of that and say, oh, well, we really like the 170,000 gold option. And then council will come in and they'll throw the hammer down. They'll say, it's not possible. We're not throwing another $30,000 onto this. But at least they can still see everything, and then we can kind of highlight, this is what we like, this is what we think will go good here.
I was actually thinking, why not just remove the silver, gold, bronze heading and just have the pictures itself?
Oh, it's an option.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
don't
just
need to know.
option
They
1,
don't
2,
need-
3,
yeah,
4, 5. Yeah, we can do
Unless they're
that.
watching tonight.
I don't need, that's true.
I think what it is fine. Like they can watch this video and see the price. We'll send it to them with the price and the options. I think if we just kind of come out and say, okay, we like these,
Yeah.
they can say what they think. And this is not a recommendation to council. This would be a recommendation of just what we currently think is a good option to give residents a little bit more of a help and assistance on the decisions they might be trying to make. Do you guys agree with that approach?
Very much so.
Okay. Other questions? Comments? Do we kind of feel like we know which options we like the best?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll start over here on the left. Tyler, do you have one that you prefer, one or two you prefer?
Give me a second.
Yeah, no worries.
You just want to pick like a top 3 maybe or something?
Yeah, top 2 or 3, yeah. Because we got 6 options, give them half.
The one I really like two the most, like the silver option from Craftsman. I like the gold option from
Game time.
Cunningham.
From Cunningham, okay. So is those two, okay. What about you, Janet?
I very much like the silver option from Craftsman with the hill and the tunnel and the slide and the rock.
Okay.
I mean, the other ones have elements of it. I just would like to be close to budget,
Okay.
because then if we're adding on
An alternate.
an alternate or the picnic table, there might be money for that, because that's what the residents specifically told us when we were out there.
That's what the bonds
Yep.
for too, yeah. Okay.
You
Anything
said
for
the
Steve?
bronze for which one?
Yeah, I like the bronze and silver of Cunningham.
Okay.
And I do like the hill too. What is that one?
That's the silver of Craftsman.
Yeah, the silver crowns.
Okay.
Top 3.
So I think all of us agree with the Craftsman silver. We like that one. And then I think there's some differences on a secondary option or a third option. But for me, I think I think the bronze option on Craftsman is not it for me. I like the silver option on Craftsman. I think all of us agree that that's probably a top one. And I think I like the silver and the bronze on the Cunningham. I think there's a little bit more we could probably do with the bronze, but I like the direction it's headed.
I do. If you added 1 or 2 other elements to that bronze option would be great.
Okay, so I think we can all agree that the Craftsman silver would be on a recommended list. Do we feel any certain way about the Cunningham silver or bronze?
I like the Cunningham silver.
Okay. Kind of iffy. I think if we could just think about 2 of them, that's probably good enough. Because I think we can all agree the gold option for Craftsman's out.
Yes.
Does anybody like the bronze option for Craftsman? So really, we all agreed on the silver for Craftsman, and now it's just what of the Cunningham do we prefer?
The bronze Craftsman, it just didn't seem to get there.
Right.
I mean, and at least the bronze option for the Cunningham, it looked like if you added 1 or 2 other things, you'd be, where we want to be. And I don't know why that silver option just isn't speaking to me. I do like the 2 backed benches. I might want to see them on opposite sides.
Yeah, and all of the Cunningham options had those 2 benches, which is great.
Yeah, they listened. That was nice.
Yeah.
Are there going to be any, I don't want to like micromanage this or start picking out individual features or anything like that, but are there any features that we heard people wanted that are going to be disappointed if they're not there, such as the adult swing or something else?
And that's what I was looking for earlier. I don't know if we have a paper version of the presentation we got last time.
The problem with a swing in such a small area is that there's just not a lot of space for
Yeah.
making room between swings and other play elements for safety reasons.
Yeah. I don't think.
I guess we will get that in feedback if we hear it
Right.
loudly or
Yeah.
intensely from the residents that said, hey, we asked for this and we don't see it, but
And I'm wondering if it's even just like a porch swing. It's nothing that's going to get crazy mileage.
Sure, when we looked at that and initially talked, can't remember, I don't think I talked to these two vendors, I talked to someone else about it, but it basically takes up a third to almost half of the play space, because.
And this
if
is
it's-
within the concrete area.
Yeah, if it's 8 foot, that's 16 feet forward and 16 feet backwards.
Right.
That's 32 feet.
And we wouldn't think about trying to put it outside of the concrete space?
Well, that's the other thing. If it's a swing, then, and kids are going to be on it, it is traditionally qualified as a play element. And so you got to have fall zone.
The turf.
For impact attenuation.
I understand. Okay. So it has to be within that zone so that they can fall on turf
Yeah.
if they do fall.
And when I did my own research, that was still the case.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And it's different when you're at your residence, right?
All right.
In your own home or your own backyard.
Yeah.
It's a little different, but commercial playgrounds require fall zone. And like Brian said, he'll double check.
No, that's a good point, though.
On that.
Like, we want to make sure kids are safe on this, number one.
Yeah.
And then number two, having fun.
Because the other thing is if you're swinging and you got a toddler that's running by and you
Right.
can't see him or behind you, then all of a sudden that toddler
And
is
those big like porch swings have a lot more
Yeah.
mass to them than a rubber loop
Yeah.
swing.
And we did talk to, I remember that, we talked to Craftsman when we were out in the field about that. That's exactly what he said. We did talk
Okay.
to him. He met us out there and he said that,
That's what he was saying.
yeah, he was saying that it would have to be inside of the playground and have fall zone material underneath it, because it is a swing.
Okay.
Even though it's a,
If you're planning on doing like a recommendation list, why don't we just recommend the ones that are under budget?
Yeah, that's true. Let's see here. I was just trying to pull up that last presentation we had.
well, we'll have time to look at it before
That's true.
next meeting as well.
You're right. Shouldn't delay it if we can get forward and keep moving. You're right. Okay, so I think we all like the Craftsman silver option probably as a number one. And then I think we'll probably just say the bronze and the silver option for Cunningham. Is everybody cool with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to put it to a quick vote then, because I think I have to for a recommendation? No, okay. Cool.
what we'll do is exactly, excuse me, what we'll do is, we'll do what you said, the board, after discussion, this is their, preferences, if you will.
We'll make a recommendation to council next meeting.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Correct. This is
Exactly.
just to-
But noting that on the survey would be good.
because I think sometimes people just want some direction.
Yeah. And then, and how that survey looks moving forward, it's less about the manufacturer and more about the play elements. So,
Everybody on the last survey said they wanted a new park there.
yeah, exactly. They
But we're
want-
not questioning that anymore.
No.
It's now,
exactly.
what does the park look like?
What does it look like from a playground
playground.
standpoint? And then do we have the opportunity to add an alternate? And we can certainly make that recommendation if it's, right, and council can approve it or stay within budget or go a little over budget. It's their decision at the end of the day. But we will also note that the goal that the Craftsman was, the board recommended eliminating because of the fact that it was substantially more than.
Over budget.
Than what the goal was of the other one. And we can still leave it in there. but-
You should, because they should be able to see
Right,
it.
and note it.
Y'all paid money to have them give this to you.
No, this was free. This
Oh, well,
was-
look at that.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, anyways,
yeah.
Win-win.
yeah. So I'm going to review the elements that they wanted again before next meeting. I'm going to find that and see if I can't review it again to make sure we're 100%. But I guess just talk about playground. I think this is great. Thanks for going and finding this stuff for us. I think there are other things in that overall area we might need to talk about, such as, potential bridge over the creek for parking and whatnot, but
Right.
that's a separate but similar issue. I don't know if the bond money would go towards that.
Right, so there could be potentially a phase 2 with a future bond.
Okay.
Or a supplemental request. The board can certainly make a recommendation, to the council. We would have to do some preliminary work in that area to find out what the costs would be.
Right.
But if that is a board initiative, that's what you are, you're a recommending board.
Yeah.
So, but if we're going to do that, probably want to do the work, what we did in the bond planning, which we are going to, start heading in that direction.
Soon.
So that may be one of the items that is listed, and then we rank it. So it's not a one and done.
Right, yeah, there's always opportunity for more. I'm just trying to think of what people were talking about, and they wanted it to be a playground, right?
Wanted to be a playground, they wanted parking, they wanted, the fence gone. There were some things outside of the playground, but they didn't rank as high, but they
Right.
were definitely needs.
Yeah.
And there's things that we can do in-house. Like, one of the things we're doing to keep the cost down is we're demoing the playground in-house.
Awesome.
We're going to use our field staff, because the demo came in around between $6,000 and $12,000.
Oh, well, that's great. We can
Yeah, and we can rent, or with our contract that we have with our refuge folks, we get X amount of dumpsters that are part of that contract, from what I remember. So all we're going to do is, use the labor hours that we have.
Yeah.
And if we rent equipment, we can tie it to the bond, but it's not going to be a whole lot for renting equipment.
Okay. Yeah, because I guess the second thing is, outside of the playground, it was just kind of traffic, how to get people to the playground in an easy and safe manner, because that little curve there on Selmeyer is kind of rough, because it's just people going quick, and it's kind of a blind curve, and you do a little bit of a left and a right. And so people feel a little less safe walking down the non-sidewalk roads that we have. And I'm not saying we need to update the roads, I'm just saying having that bridge there so they can park in the cul-de-sac and then cross that, rather than having to go to the road. And the fence, people said get rid of the fence. I think you kind of have to keep the fence to separate it from the road and play area, in case somebody loses a ball or a kid goes running for tag and just keeps heading towards the road. It's just something to think about, I guess.
Right. And we can have a discussion outside of this about that.
Yeah.
And especially what that looks like moving forward in the next 5 to 10-year plan for bond purposes.
We could even get potentially a citizen-funded project activity to put a bridge there, but we would have to, of course, probably go through permitting with the city and make sure that everything's good and whatnot. But that could be an option to save cost. See, because if the citizens want it and they want to see it get done, then maybe that's a way to do it. Buy the lumber, put it together.
Good, like Eagle Scout project.
Yeah.
Exactly. So maybe that's the way we need to go for that. Because I'd love to see a way to get it more accessible. Because I live in that neighborhood, everybody I talk to about it is like, it's just tough to get there, because you have people going 35 miles an hour in a 30-mile-an-hour zone, or 40 around that curve. I've said too much. I've said my point.
Yeah, we need to stick to the agenda.
I'm sorry.
And we can definitely, under new business, bring that back for discussion. And like I said, also the bond planning in the future that we're going to be doing. This fits perfect within that discussion. Absolutely.
Remind me
Phil.
again, what do you have in mind for a timeline for this, if it gets approved and things like that?
Well, we had been thinking, looking at this summer, but it's just going to depend on when this gets approved, what other
Right.
projects we have going on at the
Okay.
time,
But likely this year,
this year, yes.
summer to fall to
Yeah.
timeframe, okay. I didn't know what like the construction timeline or the availability of
Should be a 90.
the vendors was.
Probably, yeah. Like Phil said, probably about a 90-day project.
No.
Once we start.
Okay.
All right.
Easy,
But like
easy does it then.
our staff this time of year, spring and summer, they're so busy with mowing and landscape and all of that. We have to see where we can fit that in with the demo and all too. So,
Yeah, definitely.
But we could definitely get it get it done this summer and maybe early fall if it's approved.
And don't hold me to that 90-day, that's just a mental number.
It's on the record. It's on the
It's
record.
really the contractor that determines that, but I'm basing it off of experience.
Put that in the meeting
It's
notes,
not-
please.
Right, yeah.
It's not very technical.
Pat, write that down.
Project.
90 days.
It's not a huge project.
No, okay, yeah, I just want to make sure that it was going to be a long time frame before we
Right.
start construction once we get approval and all that stuff.
That's a good point.
This is not a kid's
It may,
castle.
it may just also be with the vendors, how can they get how quickly can they get the materials?
Yeah, once we make the recommendation, it'd be good to get that info. I mean, as long as it's nothing crazy on either of these options, if there's a back-ordered piece or something like that, I mean,
Yeah.
I think we would want to see it happen as soon as we could, and we could
Certainly, yeah.
cross that metaphorical bridge when we get there.
So last thing for me, the alternate side, you said that was kind of needing an update. Was it in disrepair, or is it just kind of like we probably should put money into it to make it nice again?
I wouldn't say disrepair, just really worn out.
Okay.
I think we should do it. It needs to be done.
Okay. Okay.
If we can do it as part of this project, it would be a good thing. Yeah.
Okay. But if it doesn't happen, it could happen in phase 2.
Yes.
It's not at a point where somebody tries to use the grill and their coals are going to fall out onto their feet.
Oh, no, it's
Okay.
fine. Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else have anything?
No, thank you.
Okay. Well, then, thank you so much, Brian. Thank you,
Thank
Phil.
you.
Appreciate it. All righty, moving on to number 5, status reports on current projects and discussion on future agenda items. A board member may inquire about a subject of which notice has not been given. A statement of specific information or the recitation of existing policy may be given. Any deliberation shall be limited to a proposal to place the subject on an agenda for a subsequent meeting. You guys have anything you want to bring up?
No.
Jinx? Nothing on your end, Steve?
No.
Okay. I'm trying to think if I have anything. Did you want to bring up Wichita Forest sign?
No, I think we can do that offline.
Okay, cool. Then I think we're good. So moving on to number 6, adjournment. So I'm going to adjourn this Parks and Rec Advisory Board meeting on Monday, April 20th, 2026 at 6:47 p.m.